Hello and welcome to our next digital library resource video. Today we're talking about Novelist Plus. Thank you for joining us today. If you're joining us on December 10th, 2020, that's today, you could also use this knowledge to enter a contest we are having for a $25 gift card. It's about using Novelist and things we're going to talk about today. What you need to do to and and enter is to comment on this video or one of the other digital resource videos and posts we posted this week, sorry, and comment on 3 read-alikes to the author James Patterson. That's all you got to do. And I will show you how to use Novelist. Now, a little deeper look into Novelist. There was a er, er, earlier video, and we're going to talk about some other things. We start here on the Minot Public Library website, www.minotlibrary.org. And we'll give it a click here to Digital Resources. I prefer usually to sort alphabetically up top here, because I know Novelist starts with N. I know that's for sure. Hopefully. So I go to N, and click on Novelist Plus, and there we go. Brings us to the resource we're looking for. If anybody does have a comment on the video to questions or anything, feel free to leave that comment. I'll try to check it a couple times as we're going through Novelist here. Alrighty, it pops up here. Novelist is what we call a kind of a reader's advisory resource, and reader's advisory is a big word for helping people find a book they would want. An example of a reader's advisory question might be, I like Harry Potter. What else can you recommend to me? So kind of just like book recommendations is what reader's advisory is. Um, but Novelist Plus is just not all about fiction. There are non-fiction as well. Um, we'll get set and get going here. Um, Last time Casey taught us how to use the search function, and that is really cool. But on this left, there are some categories you can kind of browse from. It lets you pick fiction and nonfiction, and reading group here for adults, teens, really young kids, and not so young kids, and then some categories here. So for some reason, Canada has been picking up a lot on this digital research video. So let's look at some adult fiction from Canada. And then it's going to say, do you want adult fiction A to Z? What about fantasy and sci-fi from Canadian authors? So let's try that. And it should do a little search for us. And will let us browse from some recommended reads here. As Casey mentioned in the last video, not all of the books that you see here will be in our collection. So this is just a look at books that there are. Not necessarily will we have them in our collection here at the Minot Public Library. However, we can always help you out with an interlibrary loan, that is borrowing a book from a different library. That usually costs at least $3 for shipping and handling. Takes usually a couple weeks. Or you can also put in a purchase request for the library to purchase it for the collection. There's no charge for that one. This could take a while, just depending on when people are going to be uh, purchasing the next time. So that's what we did here. Why don't we search for a book that we know? Oh, we talked about Harry Potter before. Why don't we bring up a Harry Potter here? Let's go Prisoner of Azkaban. It was my favorite when I was a kid reading Harry Potter books. And of course, it's going to tell us there's a couple choices here. As you can see, this is the illustrated series. Let's just use the regular one. And now, once we get to this page here, there's some cool things we can get to. First thing we're going to look at is on the right there are read-alikes. So, what book is kind of like Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban? Well, what about Keeper of the Lost Cities by Shannon Bessinger? And so we could take a look there. Another important thing is that it tells us that this book is in the Harry Potter original series. Um, of course, we know what series Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban is in. However, if you go to James Patterson, Michael Conley, J.D. Roth, these authors who have 12 series is going at once and at least two a year, then things get confusing. So having that series is important. And the bottom here, well, actually, we'll go through the top a little bit more. You can look at the themes and tells us more about the story. It's about a magic school. You kind of knew that. Characters are courageous and well developed. Storyline is plot driven and a lot of world building. Pace is fast paced and it is suspenseful. Important to know. Alright, so on the bottom here it gives us book reviews. That could be important if we don't know if we're going to like a book or not. These are book reviews usually set up by different magazines like Booklist or School Library Journal. Just a little bit about the book to let you know that usually was written for purchasers at the time to give you an idea of what the book was. Usually comes with a recommendation for certain people, so that's important. Then at the bottom, it gives us opportunity to search more. So let's say I want another book that is world building and fast paced. That's not always something you get, so let's see what the other options here. It'll then do a search for us, and then we will see what is what also is world building and fast paced. Well, the Hunger Games books. There's some of that in there, and then more Harry Potter comes up. Well, we could look through them, so that was cool. Let's go back to the record we had before. Right. There's other tabs. This one lets you know there's an audiobook about it. This brings us to the audiobook. Let's go back. I'm going to click on more about this book here. There's more information like the publisher, the author, things like that. And then let's look at listed articles. We'll bring us some lists that the book appears in. And it appears in notable children's books. The Colorado Blue Spruce Young Adult Book Award. So if you find a book, usually the other book awards were going to be kind of similar to it. So let's click on the series here. Let's talk more about series. This tells us about the Harry Potter series is and it lists the books. Um, like I said before, we kind of know what the Harry Potter series is, but when you go to James Patterson and his 72 different series that he has going at once, well, this can be very important to make sure, hey, don't read 3 before 2 and don't miss don't miss one book that is coming up. And then we can also click on the author. So when we do that, we will not only see information about the author, but what's very important is we will get reader likes based on the author as well. So if you like J.K. Rowling, you might also like N.G. Sage or Catherine Jinks. Of course, it will list you the books the author has written, as well as some things about their writing style and such. Just gonna take a look here if we have any questions in the chat. Do not see any right now. So let's look at nonfiction for a bit. We did talk about that we can do nonfiction in Novelist. It's not all about novels, despite the name. So that's famous one, of course, is the autobiography of Malcolm X. Let's search for that book. Well, let's not search there. Do it again here. I think I typed something wrong there. Helps to spell autobiography correctly. It's not that easy to do that. What do you mean by very much? Okay, it's coming here. Alrighty. Of course, my first search result is the one I was looking for here, the autobiography of Malcolm X, written in 1965. If I did want to trim down the results, I can refine the results on the left-hand side. So this is books just for adults, if you don't want to read teen books or children's books, and the others if you do. And look for fiction and nonfiction and publication date. Of course, I wouldn't, if I'm looking for the original one, I wouldn't want anything that was at least this year, because that wouldn't be what I'm looking for. So I can press the update results here, and that will get rid of this second one, racism in Malcolm X, because that is gone. That was not written between a time frame. So, and then as well here, we can sort by relevance, or author, or title. And it shows how many you see per page. So let's click on it here. Looks very similar to the fiction one. You got your reader likes, so if you like autobiography of Malcolm X, you might like Notes on a Native Son by James Baldwin. And there's other Malcolm X books, of course. Other people have done biographies of him. But one thing we did not talk about is that if you wanted to kind of save your recommendations here, you can print it out. You could email it to yourself, or if you find something a friend would like, you can email it to them. Or you could save it to your computer if you ever wanted to come back to it. These are cool things. So we will. That's pretty much my guide to Novelist Plus for you. Um, if you have any questions, let me know in the chat box, and make sure to comment and enter the contest. Have a good day.